What's good, gentlemen? Welcome to my review for episode 18 of Stone Ocean. And bro, this episode was fucking amazing, bro. But I also gotta say, this might actually be the most unintentionally funniest episode in the entire series, in this entire series of Part 6. Now, granted, knowing Araki and JoJo, it was meant to be as funny as it was, but bro, I was laughing my ass off basically throughout a majority of the during a majority of the second half of the episode, bro. I was just laughing my ass off, bro. Like, I don't know, honestly, like with JoJo, you never know. Was it actually meant did Araki do this all on purpose and we were supposed to laugh at it, or is it just or was it not supposed to be or was it not supposed to be as funny as it would be? I don't know, bro. With JoJo, you never know if the Rocky's purposely doing this for comedy or if it just comes off like comedy. Whatever the case may be, man, I had a blast watching this episode, so let's jump right in, boys. So we start this episode off exactly where we left off last week with, of course, FF getting like the top of her head sliced off. And, of course, Jolene, she's screaming out, FF! And right before she's about to go in there, Anastasia stops her, telling her that the unsafe direction is still there, and, you know, with the feng shui assassination bullshit, that even that, no matter what, because of that the unlucky direction is still there, no matter what, no organism can stop it. So even if Jolene did go after and try to save FF, she would also get affected too, because she would still be going in that same direction. And then that's when Drake's Dream rotates and found what its next target is, which is, of course, going to be Jolene. So, of course, Kenzo starts to approach her, and that's when FF rises up and conjures up like her FF bullets gun thing and starts firing at Kenzo. She fires up. She actually manages to land like basically all direct hits on Kenzo's arms, causing and he just screams, "Son of a!" Seriously, bro. Shout out to his W, man. Like I said, he was fucking awesome, man. I loved him. He was honestly probably the highlight of these two episodes, man. He stole the show, man. Loved him. Anyway, so then he's like, never again will I step outside the safe direction. I know better, and I am better. Like I said, man, fucking love this guy. Well, also Drake, you also got Drake's Dream also talking shit about him, like, you're losing your touch, old man. Like, bro, Drake's Dream. A part of me also kind of hopes he sticks around, even though he probably doesn't, because of course he's connected to Kenzo with his stand. But bro, I wish that Drake's Dream could stick around, bro. His commentary was hilarious, bro. I just want to hear him just talking shit some more, bro. Like I said, I don't know who voiced him too as well, but bro, shout out to him as well, man. His VA was fantastic as well, man. I love Drake's Dream, man. He was awesome. So anyway, FF realizing that he's still alive, she's like, damn it. And then by this point, we see that she's kind of like reattached her head, kind of thing, where like the top of her head is back where it should be, although there's still obviously an opening to where it got cut, but at least it's not like kind of like dangling off to the other side. Anyway, her gun then disappears. FF then realizes that what she needs to do is that she needs water so that she can make a mirror and to obviously kind of like trick Kenzo from getting out of his safe direction. But to make a mirror, she'll need some water. And I don't know about y'all, but the second I heard FF talking about how much she needs water, obviously for that, but also so she can obviously, you know, heal her wounds. Did anyone else just instantly start thinking of that old SpongeBob episode when Sandy was first introduced, and you know you had SpongeBob being like, water would be nice, or I need. Of course, you also have Patrick be like, no, SpongeBob, no, Pinky. Classic SpongeBob, man, classic. Anyway, classic SpongeBob, man. That episode was a fucking banger, bro. But what episodes of SpongeBob are not bangers? Anyway. I'm getting off topic. Jolene then reminds FF and tells her about the water hose is on the other side of the staircase, so obviously she goes right towards it, but obviously Kenzo is right on her tail. Eventually she tries to get the water, but she can't, and both of her arms end up getting taken over into Drake's Dream. And then once Kenzo hits a kick to the back of FF's head, but then like almost it's like in the next frame or whatever, she just like randomly disappears. You wonder where, obviously everyone's looking around where she went, and then we see like this giant bulge inside the water pool. So at first I honestly thought it was like some like clogged up from like water or something, but no, that's actually FF, and that she got rid of her arms so she can fit inside of it. Then she also kicks the thing open, and of course the water fountain just starts going all over the place like a giant fountain. But right before FF could chase that oh so precious and delicious H2O. She gets hit by her own hand and is sent to the and then is sent basically over the staircase where Anastasia tells us that apparently right underneath the disciplinary center is the electric chair, the death penalty. And bro, this man says the most Florida line ever, where he says, the electric chair is pretty big. This is Florida. The electric chair is big here. 2 to 3 people get executed by it every day. Like, bro, have you heard a more Florida statement than that about how the electric chair is very popular in this state? I swear to God, man, Florida it might as well be its own separate country at this point, bro. It is such a bizarre pocket, such a bizarre little statement. Anyway, as FF is falling down there, you of course have Kento saying like, "Haha, nothing more will go your way. This is the power of Drake's Dream and the Feng Shui assassination attack." So then, this is when the episode just gets straight up absurd. This is the part where the episode just gets super intensely funny. Well, also, this is a Rock giving us a spec script for a Final Destination movie. Although, to be fair, I'm pretty sure this might have come out when this came out in the manga. It might have come out even before the first Final Destination movie even came out, because I'm pretty sure Final Destination 1 came out in 1999, I think. Might be wrong on that one, correct me if I'm wrong, but it definitely came out during the 90s. I believe it was the late 90s, in fact. But yeah, when I saw this, I just couldn't help but think of Final Destination. This is literally if Araki wrote Final Destination. This is basically this section of the episode. Anyway, FF falls down the stairs. She lands near the electric chair, while the host, somehow, someway, this is why I bring up Final Destination, bounces all over the goddamn place and somehow manages to turn the switch on for the electric chair, starting a 90-second timer. Now, even though I make jokes about the Final Destination, this scene was honestly fantastic in its own right, and once again reminds us and reiterates why I consider Araki the modern master of suspense. Which you guys know, if you guys are longtime viewers of the channel, you guys have watched a lot of my JoJo reviews. You guys know I've echoed this statement countless times throughout part 4, part 5, and maybe even some of my reviews of part 3. Not sure if I ever mentioned it there, but I definitely mentioned it countless times in part 4 and part 5 when I was reviewing those two parts. So obviously, after we see the 90-second timer, FF tries to get out there, but of course her overalls are caught up by one of the straps, and she's sent right back into the chair. And that's when she notices the timer. Then she grabs one of the leather straps of the electric chair and then just throws it at the timer for some reason. She's like, "Yeah, none of I can help it." Which I don't know what that is. So then she tries to leave the chair again, but then she gets caught up in another one of the straps of the electric chair. And that's when Kenzuo shows up and be like, "Yes, I was wondering what your demise would be, and it seems that this will be your demise." FF tries to fire more of her bullets. They obviously all miss as she starts running right past them to obviously get the water. Then we see some of the water dripping from the stairs and landing it on the floor by the stairs. So as she's running towards it, the FF both ends up managing to hit his necklace, which of course one of the little beads or whatever of the little big things about the necklace, she ends up slipping and tripping on, and of course ends up right back on the electric chair with the whole helmet thing, whatever the thing that goes on your head, falls on her head too. She starts screaming before she gets out of it again. Honestly, if this chapter or chapters came out before Final Destination came out, it is honestly creepy how much Araki basically wrote Final Destination if it didn't already exist by this point. Because you can't tell me the similarities are not there to Final Destination with how absurd it gets and trying to how Death manages to keep them, not have the characters not cheated at the very end, and kind of how comedic and ridiculous it can get, to how Death still manages to get them to die when they're supposed to die. If you've watched the Final Destination, you guys obviously would know this, which I did during October Halloween. That's probably the reason why I bring it up, because I recently saw those movies back in October. But yeah, you can't tell me that there isn't some. You can't tell me that this doesn't feel like Final Destination. And like I said, if this came out before Final Destination came out, that is also kind of freaky how Rocky was able to basically predict the rules and just the overall structure of Final Destination a few years, whatever, before the movies actually came out. But regardless of such, this was pretty fun. The countdown starts to go down. It's now at 9 seconds. The Drake's Dream talking like, "Oh, come on, this is your destiny. Don't fight it." And then Kenzo just starts rapidly punching her arm for some reason. And then that's when Kenzo once again kicks her again right back into the electric chair, and she starts getting shocked by the electric chair. what? And I guess also gotta give David Productions credit for the detail they did on her, because you can actually see like her skin starting to bubble up. One of her eyes is about to like fully come out of the socket, man. It was honestly pretty. It honestly got pretty gruesome in parts. So Kenzo, he said, like, yes, it took 40 years, but the feng shui assassination technique is finally complete. The founder is once again back. And then Drake's Dream once again proves how savage he is, and like I said, I fucking love Drake's Dream. I also kind of hope the stand sticks around, bro, because this stand is probably one of my favorites of Part 6, man. He's awesome. He tells like, I'm neutral, man, so it's not like I would help you anyway, old man. But you see, FF still managed to get water because you're set me and we're running all over the place. I think he said like perspirated or something like that a lot. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, bro? But he as he continues, I'm like, oh, he means sweat. I don't know why he didn't just say you were sweating a lot, but whatever, I don't know. Maybe that's how it's written in the Japanese, to be fair. I don't know why he doesn't just say sweating, but regardless of such, FF managed to use his sweat in order to build a fake mirror to fool Kazuo into thinking he was, to basically put him in the unsafe direction rather than his safe direction, which seemed to be like right behind him, given where the real Drake's Dream was. So that's when FF grabs his arm, and he starts getting, and the electricity starts to go through him before she just starts choking them, and then they both really start to get electrocuted by the 28,000 volts of the electric chair. And then at this point we also see that straight up like blood is coming out of her eyes, bro. Honestly, I gotta say, FF looked pretty badass here when she had like the blood out of her eyes and she's looking super pissed and everything. This shot was pretty badass, and I also love the like wide shot we get of when FF is like grabbing Kazuo by the throat as they're both getting shocked by the electric chair. Thought that was a really cool shot, man. So then after that, at this point, by the way, I thought straight up that FF was dead. Like FF was this would be the first of the characters that Araki would start killing off, because you guys know in every part Araki always kills off somebody from the main cast. This has been a thing I think since Part 2. Where he's always killed somebody. It's usually always around the second half, around the midpoint to the second half of the series of that part where he starts to kill characters off. And I honestly thought this is when FF was going to die. I thought FF was dying here, and this is how she goes out, by taking out one of the stand users with her. But it seems we were wrong. So Anastasia says, silver lining is that at least that you won't have to worry about the feng shui assassination technique coming after you. And then that's when Jolene, the absolute mad woman, just straight falls down the stairs. She just leaps onto the stairs, and then as she falls down, her head makes direct contact with the railing. It is a miracle that didn't kill her, because I'm pretty sure that would have given any normal person a fucking concussion at best. At best, they would have gotten like a concussion. So she falls down there, hits the railing again before she finally gets back down to the floor. Anastasia is screaming like, "What are you doing, woman? Why would you fall down the stairs?" And thinking like, it's sounding like, why are you trying to revive the theft? There's no way her plankton could have survived. Could have survived the volts from the electric chair. So once Jolene manages to go over to where FF's body is, she sees that the dragon's still there. So Kazuo is still alive. What he does, he rises from the dead, I guess. His skin is burnt to a crisp. This man is perpetually crying. He honestly looks like a living zombie, bro. I also thought his new design here was pretty cool, man. So he starts more, so then Jolene uses her threads to turn it into like the shape of an arrow, and starts basically sends it right toward Kazuo, which of course obviously missed, as Anastasia's like, if this is this the raw fury of revenge driving you? So she ends up missing, but she ends up hitting the little water puddle that was right by their body. She splashes and she sees that the little bits of FS plankton were still on there. So she still somehow managed to survive this deck. So she like just throws that back to FF to, I guess, revive her. And then Kazuo just starts charging right towards her, bro. Just the sight of this dude with his skin all burnt off, with the tears and everything. He's like, I will defeat you, Jolene Kujo. You cannot escape me. And now, women, you will now face my deadliest attack. Or whatever whatever he was saying, bro. Either way, man. Then he does hit his attack, where this dude basically just shoves his foot right into Jolene's mouth, which not only I'm sure was a devastating attack, because it looks like he probably fucked up some of her teeth, given he fully curled up his toes like he was curling them up for a fist, but with his feet. But also just the fact that this man put his bare foot right into Jolene's mouth, and God knows what the fuck that man's got on his feet, especially after he just got burnt by 2800 volts of electricity. So you know there's some shit on those feet, bro. And anyway, after he gets his foot out of Jolene's mouth, he then starts like floating upwards into the air before his head hits the railing right on top of him. Once again, I thought the dude broke his neck or something, he had his neck snapped from him, but no, he's just chilling on top of the railing, which and this is when the episode gets, like I said, gets super unintentionally funny. At least I think it is. I don't know with the music and everything. I can't tell if I'm supposed to be laughing as hard as I was. She was like, "No, speak, you silly lizard. Why is she still alive? I hit her with my deadliest attack, yet she's still alive." And then Kenzo says, "Why is she still alive? Well, I'm barely holding onto this railing like a broken spider." Oh, I fucking love these two, man. These are probably, and so then, and then so Kenzo asks her what's the safe direction, and then all of a sudden he just lets go of the railing and just starts falling, and then with the music and everything, he's just like, "Oh, why am I falling, dragon? Why am I falling, lizard?" Like I said, I don't know if I was supposed to be laughing as hard as I was or not, but this shit just had me in tears, bro. Once again, you have Drakestream being an absolute savage, calling him an old man and everything. And then this man lands right on his feet. I thought his legs were gonna start protruding out of his his bones started protruding out of his legs, and he was just gonna fall to the ground as his legs are not useless. But no, this man starts bouncing around like his legs turn into fucking springs. And then he grabs onto a wall, and then that's when Drakestream asks him if he messed up what happened to his legs, and that they look weird, and if the attack he did on Jolene changed his legs at all. And then we see his legs, and they do kind of look more, and they kind of resemble the spirals you see on springs. And then that's when Diver Drive comes out of Jolene's body. I gotta say, I love this song from the OST that started playing here. I don't know if that's meant to be Anastasia's theme or anything, but I really dug the song that started playing as Diver Drive started to come out of her body. And then we find that basically the reason what happened and why his kick didn't kill Jolene like it was supposed to, and why his legs are like what the way they are, that this was all work of Diver Drive. And if our attack was supposed to come towards Jolene, he basically had Diver Drive go into her body and basically shield her from the blow, which is what ended up happening. And because of that, that's what caused Kenzo's legs to turn out the way they did. We then also get an X-ray of what his legs actually look like, and oh boy, his bones barely resemble the legs at all, bro. Like, you just see them all just in all different directions, bro. It honestly looked pretty nasty when you see it. I'm like, oh my god. And so then this is when the bones start to protrude out of his body, and he just starts once again bouncing all over the place. Like I said, I'm in tears laughing at this. And so Jolene thinks that Jolene says that what happens is that because the Dive Drive was in her and took the attack, he basically turned his legs into plasma before reassembling them into functional springs, basically, and also just completely destroying his legs in the process. So he's bouncing all over the place as he's like, "Dragon, tell me the safe direction," which is northeast, and his lucky color was cerulean blue. Which I'm like, what the fuck is cerulean blue? That's gonna be the most random ass name for a color I've ever seen. And then I actually used Siri to show me pictures of cerulean blue, and I gotta say, it's actually a pretty nice shade of blue, if you ask me, bro. It's actually a pretty nice shade. I actually kind of fucks with this shade of blue. Anyway, as this is all going down, you have Anastasia looking over Jolene, and he said, "Yes, just look at me. Keep looking at me, Jolene. Only look at me with those pretty eyes of yours." I'm like, bro, what are you on about? Anyway, and that is when we end the episode off with the Sanyus that's holding Dio's bone before it cuts right to credits. And they literally just cut to credits. There wasn't the whole, to be continued arrow thing that we're used to. I honestly thought it was some weird glitch. What happened? I was like, wait, did I miss something? And then I rewound back on Netflix to see if I missed it. I didn't. But we ended up having a post-credit scene where we basically saw the Speedwagon Foundation doing tests on JoJo, where then we get the to be continued. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is where the episode ends. Absolutely amazing episode, man. I fucking loved it. From the Final Destination, you know, isms in there. Like I said, if this episode, or rather I should say, these chapters, the manga came out before Final Destination 1 came out. It's also got creepy how accurate and close this is to the Final Destination movies. But hey, whatever. Either way, that was hilarious, man. I loved Kazuo and Drake's dream. I also kind of wish Drake's dream sticks around, man. I love that stand. And yeah, man, looking forward to what we have in store next week, where it looks like we're going to see Jolene facing off against this new stand user that's holding the phone. I'll have to wait and see on that. Anyway, guys, overall, I give this episode a 10 out of fucking 10, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. You like if you did, subscribe if you're new. Follow my socials if you feel like it. Links down in the description box below. And as always, come back for more. See you guys next time.